So you want to know exactly how to get ahead of other people. It might be the people around you, the people you see in everyday life, or just people that you know in general. In this video, I'm going to be telling you the number one thing you can do as a young guy so that you can get ahead of the people around you. If you follow what I say in this video, I guarantee you'll join the new 1% of this generation. But before I begin, make sure you like and subscribe to best show your support, as it really helps my channel out. It also helps my content get to the right people who need to hear this message. But now that's out of the way, let me begin the video. Everyone around you is quite literally on their phones. Like, I don't know about you, but with me, whenever I'm out and about, I always see people on their phones, and it's just really not a good thing. Like, whenever I'm in school, I see people on their phones all the time. Whenever I catch a bus, I always see people on their phones. It's just that whenever you see people, whenever I see people, they're always on their phones. People are so obsessed with going on TikTok, looking at notifications and just the dopamine spike that they get, and it just doesn't help anyone. It's just really a negative thing. Like, I remember this one time I was on the bus, this guy was literally on his phone, sat in front of me. So I was at the very back and he was sat in front of me on the left. And I remember he was just scrolling. He'd see a food video. He'd be watching it for 10 seconds. He'd scroll again, and then he'd see some random shit. He'd scroll again, and then the algorithm would re-show him food videos because that's what he liked. And from that, it just got to a point where I remember I saw his face and he wasn't even registering the environment around him. He was literally just focused on scrolling the whole time. And for me, because I don't use social media and I'm not someone who scrolls like everyone else does, it becomes apparent to me and for the close people I'm around, when you move away from social media and when you're not scrolling all the time, you really just objectively see the negative things around you, and you objectively see how these things like TikTok and Instagram and all these short form apps are just really destroying the people around you. TikTok and Instagram and all these other short form apps have literally taken over. People can't even control their own attention spans, and they can't even focus anymore because all everyone seems to be focused on is scrolling and getting the next dopamine hit. People literally disregard their own future selves by scrolling. I remember when I used to be a scroller, I remember I'd have school the next day. So if I had school at 8 a.m. the next day, and I'd be looking at the clock and it'd be 9 p.m. and I would literally punish my future self by getting up late, earlier, and losing sleep by just scrolling, because it'd be 10 p.m, 11 p.m. at night and I'd still be scrolling, and I'd say, oh, I can scroll for another 5 minutes, another 10 minutes. And it would turn into half an hour. And then the next time I'd wake up, I would have lost sleep and I would have been sleep deprived. And I would basically just be punishing my future self. What I've noticed is that everyone who scrolls, everyone who just is glued to their phone, is quite literally punishing their future self, because there's tasks and daily errands that people have to do. For example, they might have to wash some clothes, they might have to cook some food, they might have to get things ready because a guest's coming over. What people do now is that social media and scrolling and people being glued to their phones has become so integrated into normal parts of life that people literally punish small tasks that they have to do. So for example, if someone has to wash some clothes, they might say, oh, I'll do it later, and then they'll scroll for a bit. And then by the time later comes around, they can't do it because it's dark or some other random bullshit. It's some small things tasks are literally becoming hard to do now. Things that are difficult, for example, training hard or doing cold exposure or something, like a cold shower or something. Those things are genuinely hard. Now it's people are finding things like brushing their teeth hard. And I don't blame people, because the amount of stimulation and the amount of difficulty it is being on social media and getting off is just horrible. There's other things like video games and shit, which I can talk about in other videos. But in general, small tasks are becoming so difficult, like getting out of bed and doing schoolwork. Small things for example, homework compared to an exam. Doing a mock paper is very you need a lot of attention and energy for it. People are struggling to do homework, never mind mock papers or whatever. Obviously mock papers and stuff are good for revision, but people are literally struggling with homework. And it just goes to show that apps like TikTok and Instagram are just destroying people. And the thing is, people are just way weaker because they don't have control over their own choices. It's we're being rammed by music, rammed by TikTok and Instagram reels, and just the modern day is designed to break you. And it's just that what I've seemed to notice is that when there's all these forms of stimulation, people don't even have control over their own choices anymore. It's almost people are just taking like so many different types of drugs that it's literally so difficult to just stop doing these things. Like if it was just social media that was a problem, I'd say, yeah, fair enough. Social media, I'd say, is the biggest thing. But you've got things like music, which is literally just distracting you and taking you away from the present moment. And you've got things like junk food, and you've got all these other things that are just destroying your mental health and destroying your like health and well-being. With me, I used to be someone who I'd get my phone out to check the time. So if I was in school and I had like science or maths next, I would literally have to check my phone to check the time and be like, okay, I need to start walking to my next lesson now. I would literally get my phone out, go onto like Snap or like whatever it was, and then I'd put my phone away just to realize I hadn't actually checked the time. So then I'd have to re-get my phone out, check the time, and then put it away. And then I remember in those small moments, I was like, I got my phone out to check the time, but I didn't actually check the time. So it was just these small things that I think other people can relate to that is just really, really like, it just shows how social media and all these apps are just taking away from people's lives, and it's a negative thing. And even if you wanted to take control over TikTok and Reels, you can't. The algorithm is way too strong and it knows you better than you know yourself. Like I've heard people say things like, you have a conversation with someone about something like during the day, and then at night or like later on when you're scrolling, that exact thing pops up, which in my opinion, I think that's creepy as fuck. And I also just think that it just shows how stuck we are in this generation. Like with me, I remember when I was like heavily scrolling and having all this dopamine around me, and I would just basically be scrolling in between lessons. This was like year 9, year 8. I used to like scroll in between lessons, and like between each lesson I'd scroll on my phone on like TikTok or some other stuff. I'd be on Snap, like responding to people's snaps. I'd be going on Instagram, like this girl's like made a post, so I've had to like that. Then she's made an Instagram story where she's added the post to the story so people can like the post. And then you have all these other things like other girls posting, and it's like all this like dopamine and all this like attention has like fried my brain. So then if I went to go into like maths, for example, I'd try and be doing the work. So for example, if there's a question about, I don't know, like rearrange the subject, like I try and put like a question up, like that's what I have to do, right? In school, I remember this specifically. I had like this question up, and I remember like I was just looking at it and I was doing the question, but at the same time I was doing the question, my own brain wasn't even processing. Like there was like this invisible mist that like I couldn't even describe. Like it was just stuck over me, and I wouldn't be able to work or focus or like do anything properly. And it was just, yeah, it was such a strange thing because I'd never experienced that, like this mist of like not being able to concentrate. Like even if I was like, okay, we got to focus now, I wasn't able to because I was literally just, my brain was just stuck. Like I had like an error 304, like a 304 error. Like my brain was just like completely unable to do work. If you've got to this part of the video and the examples I've said have just resonated with you and you can remember times where you've had that, make sure you like the video. That way it boosts the algorithm and it helps people find this type of video. So I've just kind of waffled on about how social media is kind of like a bad thing, and I've kind of just talked about how it's not helping you and my own examples of like me being stuck. Now I want to give you the action step that actually puts you in front of every single other person in this generation. And I'm not just saying that, I'm being genuinely serious when I say that you will be ahead of every single other person. When you go to school and you're in your class, you'll sit down knowing that you're the only person who's different to everyone else. And this step, it's gonna change your life. It's so simple, but this is literally gonna change everything. But it's just simply not using your phone. Like, it's not using social media. It's not like not scrolling. It's literally not using your phone and not having it on you. When you do that, you're literally at the front of the queue. Like when you're not on your phone and when you're not distracted, you're at the front of the queue from everyone else, and you're so inherently different. Like with me now, I barely use my phone. Like it's in my drawer in the morning and I barely touch it. So that's all you need to do really. You literally just need to stop using your phone. And when I did this recently, so this drawer behind me, I don't know if you guys can see, but basically I have like some journals in here. But what I do is I put my phone in here and then I just close it. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I basically just leave my phone in there for like the whole morning, and I don't use my phone. Like for example, when I need to check something, like I need to check a message, I will literally open this drawer, check my phone, and then put it back in there just for that one thing. So for example, if I need to respond to a guy called, I don't know, like Josh, I'll respond to Josh and then I'll put my phone back and then leave it. Like I've got to a point now where I have so much control over my emotions and my brain and body that using my phone is literally just for that purpose. I don't use it to scroll. I don't use it to check random other bullshit. I literally don't even use my phone. And I don't even take it to school with me anymore. Like, I'm going to be completely honest, like most of the time that I don't need my phone, I just leave it at home. Like, people would look at me weirdly and be like, oh, this guy hasn't got his phone. Like, even in the gym, like I have a notebook now. Like, the people that go to my gym will just see me with a notebook. And it's just that people think I'm weird. Some people might think, oh, he hasn't got his phone. But with me, I have such control over my training and my mental health that I can just journal and write things down, and everything is just peaceful when I don't have my phone. Not using your phone literally puts you at the front of the queue. You're ahead of everyone else, and I'm taking full advantage of that. And it's something that you should do as well, because it's helped me. Like, when I'm in the gym, I literally have a notebook. I don't use my phone. I don't like use my phone for like random other shit in the gym like most people do. Like, there's people fucking scrolling in the gym, like some guys playing like, I don't know, like Plants vs Zombies or some shit, I don't even know. But like, basically where I'm going with this is you not using your phone and not actually using it for anything is just the best thing you can do. Like, once I've done this recently, I remember I went out with some guys that I know and we went and had dinner. I barely check my phone now. Like, before, I used to be someone who used to just check their phone every single moment I'd be like with people. Now it's like I don't even use it. Like, if I'm with people, I'm fully present in the present moment and I don't bring my phone out. And since like the feeling of it just feels so much more better because I'm just connected with the people around me, and it puts you ahead because your dopamine and your brain's healing from all the damage that's been done, and you also process and move towards becoming a better person and just learning new things and just growing. If you're someone who struggled with like their phone usage and like scrolling, comment down below explaining your story, because I think it's really important that we express our own struggles, and so that we can all come together and basically get rid of this addiction and get rid of these problems in the modern day, because it's really, really not good. Let's raise awareness for this problem that's been caused, and let's make a new change that will benefit you and it'll benefit me as well. If this video has meant something to you, please make sure you like and subscribe. That way it boosts the algorithm and it basically tells YouTube that I'm helping you. But before I end the video, there's always one thing I always say, and it's that always strive for excellence, because great things will come your way.